Hey crafty cuties, welcome back to Paper Terrace, and if you're new, I'm Jessica. We are at a bit of a different location here because I'm going to be using my sewing machine for this video, so hopefully you can see everything really well. I had a request to show how to make these Kantha quilt journal covers. They're just the most simplest thing, and they are so cute and versatile. They can be used as a journal cover where you would sew in some pages, which I'm going to do that with you today in this tutorial. You could use them as a folder, you could add pockets, you could decorate the inside and just use them as a fun little like card in your journal. And Kantha quilts are really fun to work with. They are so cool as far as the design goes and the hand sewing, and there's so many different designs that there are available as well. I got mine from AmourFabriques on Etsy. She sent me a huge amount of these bohemian fabrics, and they kind of come in different sizes and packs. And so I'm going to leave those links down below, but I already went ahead and kind of got things ready. So I'm going to use a scrap from one that I've already used because I love the design. It's so pretty, and they're double-sided, which is cool because you can decide which one you would like to use. And to make things even better, I'm using up some old time cards that I've never really knew what to do with, but they're going to be perfect. So you could use an old folder, you could use cardstock, you could use, scrapbook paper. Anything like that will be fine. And to get started, I'm just going to flip this over. So I want these to be on the inside. This is just going to give a little bit of stability so that they're not completely all fabric, but we'll have a little bit more stability, but you'll see how we put them together here. And I'm just going to use a little bit of tape actually just to hold them in place, but I am sewing these on. And I'm just going to place them like this and not worry about the placement too much. I'm using this double-sided tape just because I need to use it up. And again, this is just kind of holding it in place until we take it to the sewing machine. So it's super simple. I kind of want mine to have raw edges, so I'm going to just place it close to the edge so I can use up as much fabric as possible. For the center, which can be kind of called the spine, I'm going to leave about 1/4 of an inch just of fabric, so kind of like that. This is going to give us the ability to easily sew in any papers that we want, any pages, and even if we don't, it really still helps everything fold just super nice and flat. Now I'm going to go ahead and just trim around the edges, and again, I would like to have the raw edges, so I am leaving about about 1/8 of an inch, probably maybe 1/4 of an inch all the way around. If you wanted to wrap yours around, you can. Now, Kantha quilts are a little bit thicker than like a normal fabric because they are 2 layers, so just keep that in mind. You could wrap them around the edges. I'm not cutting this super straight, but that's okay. We can fix it later. I'll move that to the side, and I'm just going to trim this one down to be a little bit less around the edges. I'm just going to try to clean up. I didn't do the best job at cutting a straight line, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. You're about to see just how easy this is. Now I'm going to go ahead and sew around each of the edges of the front cover and the back cover. Okay. Let's see, we can move you down just a bit. Gonna do kind of a one-take video here, so apologies for all that movement, but I'm just gonna do a straight stitch all the way around. This fabric's a little wobbly, so if you're like, oh, everything's moving around, that's not just you. The fabric's a little wobbly because it is 2 layers of fabric that are, sewn together, but it's gonna be totally fine. Definitely a good reason to make sure that you kind of adhere your papers down just so they don't wobble around too much. And I'm not doing the perfect job, but that's okay. Okay, now we're gonna move to the second side here, and I'm just going to do the same thing. So you could obviously make all different sizes. I didn't give you guys a measurement on this. Mine are quite small, but you could do like a traveler's notebook size, whatever size you want. But mine end up being about almost 3.5 inches by like 4.5 inches. And I think it's the perfect size to go into a journal. So I'm gonna decide, I think I want this to be the front cover. And like I said, we'll go ahead and sew some papers in here. And I just have some watercolor dyed papers that I thought I would use up. I'm just gonna use like 3, yeah, I'll do like 3 pieces here. And I'm actually going to use a ruler to trim these down. And again, I'll move you guys over. I'm just going to not worry about this being too perfect either. But I'm just gonna rip the excess like that. And then a little bit down here. And I don't even have to cut anything. Oops. Okay, I'm just gonna fold these in half so that they're kind of folded nicely. It's a little too, you know what, that's okay. We're gonna use, I only need to trim a little off, so we're just gonna use our scissors this time. Whoops. I am saving those scraps so that I can use them for something else. Okay, that's good. Now before I sew these in, I think it might be fun to add some pockets here. And let's see. Maybe I'll just go ahead and use the same fabric that I have on the front. Gonna trim these down like that. Yep, that will be a cute little pocket. Do I want to use that scrap or cut another piece? Maybe I'll save this side and put like an envelope just for a little bit of interest. I'm gonna go ahead and just sew this on, and I'm gonna sew around the 3 corners like that. Pull that as straight as I can. I just love that these little folders could be used in so many different ways. I was just realizing too that it might be cute to add on some string, or like maybe even a thin strip of sari, just for a closure. But I think we'll just I'm going to trim this a little bit. I think we'll just continue on with sewing the pages in. Now, I would typically sew pages in by hand with an awl and some, a needle. But since I only have 3 pieces, I'm actually going to go ahead and sew these with my sewing machine down the center. And it's going to be easy since we do have that strip in the middle that is just fabric. So it really should sew on pretty easy as long as I have everything lined up correctly. I'm going to do my best to just sew down the center, and I'm going to do a back stitch on the top of this, just like down a 1/2 inch back, and then okay, that didn't feel perfect, but I'm going to do a back stitch once more. There. And I don't always do a back stitch, but if I'm sewing pages in, I will. Okay, did we do okay? I mean, I didn't sew it exactly down the center, but it's close enough. Yeah, it's not too bad actually. Okay, so there we go. I mean, it's as simple as that. And if you want to trim anything up so that it's a little bit more straight, of course you can, but I kind of think the beauty of these little mini journals is not having them be perfect. And yeah, you could add closures now, or I mean, They're so cute. And you can decorate the pages however you want. I've actually been needing a little notebook, so I think this will be perfect. And like I said, I'm gonna add a little mini envelope right there. So I'll just grab that. Let's see here. Or a little pocket would be cute. But I'm just gonna use this little mini envelope that I got from Amazon. And I'm just gonna use this double-sided tape. I'm just gonna put 2 strips down the sides here. Did we run out finally? I've been needing to use this up, so. Nope. Okay, good enough. We'll just put it like that. And I like the way that the time card kind of shows up in the background. So hopefully you'll be inspired to maybe reuse something that you've been wanting to reuse as far as paper goes. And like I said, like old file folders would just be perfect for that. I'm going to put a little tag that I just had up here in here just for fun. So cute. And of course, again, you can do this idea with any fabrics that you have. It doesn't have to be a Kantha quilt, but I definitely think if you are interested in purchasing any type of bohemian fabrics, to check out AmourFabriques. Boho Needs is someone else that you guys hear me talk about frequently, and I highly recommend either of those shops. They both have great quality, great customer service. They are just so detailed in the care and love that they put into their packages. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and that's it for today. I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.